Can you see a heartbeat?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I promise I'll show the screen.
No, that's fine. I was just so nervous.
Back in 1986, I was a single mom with 2 little girls, and their father had literally just abandoned us. When he left, I realized, oh my gosh, I've got these 2 little girls to take care of, and how am I going to financially do it? I was working 12 to 14 hours a day just to make ends meet. So I met this guy, and we got pretty serious right away. All the promises were made about being together forever, and about 9 months into the relationship, I was pregnant. Already struggling as a single mom, and here I was now still a single mom because I wasn't married to this guy. I was terrified. I didn't know what I was gonna do. My boyfriend told me that he didn't want the baby, and we needed to go with our other option, which was abortion. The guy that was supposed to support me and be there for me and take care of me was now telling me he wanted me to end the life of our child. And I was quite frankly embarrassed that I had allowed myself to get in this position. I just felt really pressured. I felt completely trapped. Just a second. I'm like in that room. I mean, 30 years, and I'm like in that room again. And then I heard the machine. And I just kept looking at the ceiling thinking, get out. Just get out. Run. And within minutes, it was over. It was done, and I knew my life had changed. I knew I wasn't the same. And I drove home just begging for forgiveness. I weep for that girl, for that young woman who thought that was her only choice, that that was her only option. What can we do to help these women avoid the hell I went through? Protesting seems to polarize. All these angry political posts on Facebook and social media do nothing but invite arguments without helping the women in need. If we want to create real change, shame, anger, and fear simply don't work. If we really want to help, the answer lies in a simple heartbeat.
In 2010, I had the opportunity to go on this missions trip to New York City, where I was able to see these young, passionate pro-lifers using this retrofitted shuttle van equipped with a sonogram machine to offer women at a Planned Parenthood a free sonogram and a free pregnancy test and the resources if she were to keep her baby. But when I saw it, I wasn't a believer. I looked at that van and I said, that seems kind of shady. This vehicle was built on about a $5,000 budget, but I said, hey, I'll just kind of hang out here. And the woman who was going to teach me that morning, she ran in to get a coffee. And so while I'm just standing there, just nicely dressed, I didn't have a sign or a megaphone or anything, it was just me early in the morning on a November day. This young girl comes up to me, and I just think she's like asking directions or something, thinking that I like just hanging out there. And she says to me, I'm here for my appointment, thinking that I worked at the abortion clinic. And I immediately just began stuttering, not sure exactly what to say, and so I just began telling her, no, I don't work at the abortion clinic, but I'm hanging out with these crazy folks over here that have this crazy bus, and if you'd like to come aboard, they'll give you a free sonogram and some resources if you decide to keep your baby. And to my astonishment, she says, sure. And I'm like, really? Like, that's it? Like, I don't have to do anything else? And so I walk her over as she meets the sonographer at the door, and it takes her about 40 minutes, and I just took some time to pray. When she started coming off the bus, I couldn't help but go up to her and say, who are you calling? As she was booting up her phone. So I got closer, I could see there were tears in her eyes, and she says, I'm calling my mom to tell her that she's gonna be a grandma and to get some help.
A simple heartbeat changed her mind, and this girl changed my life forever. That night I called my wife Ann and I said, what if we could do what I saw today everywhere? And what if we could do this with excellence?
As newlyweds, instead of buying a house, Joe and his wife Ann took out a line of credit to buy a gutted-out Mercedes Sprinter van. They called it Save the Storks. They toured America together, living on $3 a meal. They were selling people on the vision for a mobile medical bus. a bus that would provide women in crisis free ultrasounds, allowing mothers to connect with their baby's heartbeat for the first time. And instead of a creepy van, Joe and Ann wanted their Save the Storks bus to be outfitted with state-of-the-art medical equipment and a clean, inviting environment, a place where women in crisis could go to feel safe and loved. Hundreds of donors caught the vision, pitching in money to equip the first Save the Storks bus. And the Save the Storks movement was born. It took 4 grueling years, but the first successful bus hit the road in 2014. Now the big test began. Could Save the Storks make a difference for these women in crisis pregnancies? After hearing the heartbeat, 394 mothers chose life for their babies. Joe and Ann took those initial results back to the donors. This gesture was huge. The donors were stunned that Save the Storks would bother to report back and that their money had measurable success. Those 394 heartbeats grew into 394 living, breathing babies. Not because Save the Storks was doing the convincing, but because the babies were. Babies' lives were being saved. Nobody had seen this kind of impact before. Mothers were bonding with their unborn children. Since then, the Save the Storks movement has taken flight. People began taking notice and thousands started to donate. Save the Storks now has 39 buses in 26 states. The result is Save the Storks has now helped over 4,000 mothers choose life for their babies through the power of a heartbeat, and our impact is doubling every year.
My name is Ashley, and I am originally from California. I decided to move to South Dakota to go to school. I worked just part-time waitressing because I was finishing up cosmetology school. Everyone hung out and partied together. I think, yeah, I drank a lot. I was in a dark place and I kind of lost my joy. I met my husband. We both partied a lot. After like 6 months, then I found out I was pregnant with my son. How would I even take care of the baby financially? I did not make a ton of money, and then just being in the place emotionally that I was just kind of a mess, and so feeling like I wouldn't be a good mom. I called my boyfriend and said, I'm pregnant and I'm gonna have an abortion. I already made an appointment in Colorado, but the lady said I had to bring somebody with me. He was having second thoughts, but I didn't know that. He just went along with it. It's like a 5 to 6 hour drive from South Dakota to Colorado. And so we didn't talk much at all, actually, the whole drive. Obviously not how I always pictured my life. I went in and, they did the ultrasound and I was nervous. I couldn't think of any other option. I just felt like hopeless. And she said, well, you're further along than you think, so you would have to get a different procedure. You have to go somewhere else. And so I said, is there a heartbeat? She was hesitant and she didn't want to show me. Abortion clinics don't normally let you see the ultrasound. Do you think you're gonna go through with this? And I don't know. I just want to know, there's a baby in there. Does it have a heartbeat? Is it okay? I was starting to feel like I wasn't gonna go through with it, which made me scared. Is this gonna change everything? And so she just turned the screen around and then there's a little baby and a heartbeat. He was so small. It had its head and its arms and everything. And he had those little parts of this little tiny baby. I went out of the room and I just shook my head no to my boyfriend and handed him the picture, and he just hugged me, and it made me feel like I made the right choice. We had a lot to talk about then. On the way home, just started talking and staring at the picture. And I kept saying oh, our baby, and then kind of laughing, whereas before we just didn't talk about it. When I chose life for my son, I didn't leave feeling heaviness. I felt just joy is the biggest word that I can think of. It was the heartbeat that made me choose life, and now I'm actually going to school to be an ultrasound technician so I can share the gift of a heartbeat with so many more people.
Click the link or go to SaveTheStorks.com to donate today. We have the chance to let millions more heartbeats be heard. You have the chance to save a life. Join the Save the Storks movement, and for a monthly subscription of $35, you can save a stork and her cargo, a mother and her child every year. This is a literal subscription to save lives. At Save the Storks, we wanted to do things differently. First, we knew there would never be a place for shame or scare tactics on a Save the Storks bus. When a woman boards the bus, she's met with compassion and love, not guilt and fear. The medical staff of Women Serving Women gives free options and resources without pressure or judgment. Second, we wanted every dollar donated to go directly towards saving lives. We found generous individuals who are willing to help cover our organizational costs like administrative expenses, fundraising, and office supplies, so that over 90% of your donation helps save a life. After hearing her baby's heartbeat and choosing life, because of our partnership with Pregnancy Resource Centers, a mother can receive baby supplies, parenting classes, food, clothing, formula, and access to financial aid. Services that go on years after the baby's born, because no matter what they choose, it's going to change them. And no matter what they choose, these women matter. Now, all across the country, heartbeats are heard.
You are pregnant.
So please, become a Save the Storks partner today with just $35 a month. You'll help save a baby this year. Every donation from a few dollars to funding an entire bus gives the movement flight. Can you imagine how different my experience would have been if I'd had Save the Storks? Save the Storks, because every heartbeat matters.